It's affecting our children, it's affecting how we live.
Incarceration makes a better criminal than it does a citizen.
There's no way that anybody can come up with a cash bond, okay?
They sit in jail. They sit in jail waiting for their case to be called.
And the way that works is it's kind of shooting fish in a barrel. I've lived in McMinnville, Warren County pretty much my entire life. So and then in 2014, I was elected the District Public Defender for Warren and Van Buren counties. Well, by definition, our clients are unable to hire counsel. And that's a fairly low bar in today's society, being unable to hire an attorney to represent your interests when you're facing a prosecution brought by the state of Tennessee with almost unimaginable resources and just the entire weaponry of the state at its disposal. They're underdogs almost by definition from the moment we meet them. Well, they're our neighbors. I mean, the people that I represent are the people that I see when I go to the grocery store with my family or when I go to eat with my family. They're the people that I see in our community, and they have the same problems that you and I or anyone else have. I think there is sometimes a thought that rural means bad and urban means good when it comes to the criminal justice system, and I don't think that's the case at all. And I think that we do a very good job with trying to address the issues that confront our citizens. I do think that money bail could be addressed. There's got to be a better way. I'm not sure that a lot of people who aren't entrenched in the system understand just how much pretrial detention is baked into the system. How I see the money bail system work is someone is arrested, they are fairly arbitrarily, in my opinion, assigned a money bail number by a judicial commissioner, has very little information available to him about anything really other than the charges that person is facing. At that point, the onus is on the defendant to either be able to come up with whatever contracted amount they can work out with a professional bail bondsman to secure their release, or come up with a cash bail, which in our circumstances is very unlikely with our clients. If they're able to do that, great. If they're not, they stay in jail. It's not a crime to be poor. And I've represented a number of people who are the sole earner for their family, and it throws them into complete abject disarray, and it's tragic, honestly. Any time in jail of any consequence is going to cost them their job. They may be put in a position where they're going to lose their housing. They may be put in a position where they're going to lose social services or program services that are provided through the state or federal governments, and they're in jail. They're in jail. There's not a lot to be said for that. What I hear more than anything else is, I've not been convicted of anything. Why am I sitting here when I've not been convicted of anything? What can I do about this? And unfortunately, usually the answer is not a lot. We can try to get their bond reduced to some number that perhaps the family or some other source can come up with to get them released from pretrial detention, or not. And if we're not going to be able to get them out, the next question is, what do I have to do to get out of here? How do I get this over with? And a lot of times that's how cases are resolved. Right or wrong, that's how a lot of cases are resolved. A significant number of our clients suffer from substance abuse or mental health issues. Often those come in tandem with one another. At one point, our jail was at risk of being decertified by the state. And once that specter was raised, everyone kind of got into gear about it. And there has been a concerted effort to try to come up with alternative sentencing or other methods to try to decrease the jail population. We have had an increased focus on mental health and substance abuse treatment in lieu of incarceration. There are a lot of people that simply lack the resources and the wherewithal to avail themselves of the type of treatment options that the recovery court provides. The county jail, it's probably not the best place for these people, and it's also, perhaps more importantly, it's not the best use of taxpayer money to address those issues. What I found and what I was very impressed with when I was out campaigning for office was that when you speak to people on a one-on-one level, they have a good sense of what's right and what's wrong. And I don't mean that to be patronizing in any way, but I think they just have a kind of an inherent sense that the system needs to be fair. And the American criminal justice system is adversarial in nature, and it only works well if both sides are adequately represented. And then I think that fairness extends to how people are treated once they're in the system and how their cases are ultimately going to be resolved. And are there underlying issues that are causing this criminal behavior? And if so, how can we best address them? I really think that's true, and I think that's why a lot of these programs that we're implementing here have gotten so much traction because there's sort of a widespread belief that that's how things ought to work, and I think that's largely due to the commitment of this community to treating people fairly.